Hello everyone, and welcome back to Whovian Maverick. Today we're reviewing the last part of the Key to Time. Today we are reviewing the Armageddon Factor. This is the end to the Key to Time trilogy, or series as you want to call it, because it's season 16. But this is the final story, and basically one of the most forgotten stories I've ever seen. Like, I couldn't remember it for any other reason. So today I should be able to find the final sock to the Socks of Time. This is the last review. I should be cautious. Well, let's just go on with the review, because it must go on, and I must tell you my opinion, because that's what matters most, right? It's a review. You're here to hear constructive criticism. So I'm just here to talk about the Armageddon Factor. The Armageddon Factor is the story where we find out the villain, the Black Guardian. But the problem is that in the beginning, it really isn't about the Black Guardian yet until like a few parts later. First of all, we just go to a planet, and I even forgot what the planet's name is called, but it's like in a grave. It's, you know, it's kind of like it takes place in a mining shaft, and people are like stuck under there, and they have lived there. And then the doctor's trying to save people under there that try to reach the surface. And then there's a bunch of getting lost and getting like hit in the head. Then we find out there's a black warrior kind of guy. And wait a minute. Doesn't that look like?
What we need to do is go back to China where it is. This is just a house. Check around your house.
Oh my gosh. Well, anyway, let's just get rid of the view and let's just forget that happened. It is interesting though. It's like this whole thing is connected. I'm getting off topic. Anyway, the biggest reason why the story is super dull, well, it's not dull, it's that I don't remember it very well after I saw it. I don't remember it very well for good reasons. But the only reason why I really just remember the story is because the Black Guardian first appears in the story. And it wasn't a big reveal, but I saw the Black Guardian. The only thing I remember from the story is that when we saw him, and he was actually the White Guardian in disguise, or was being in disguise. I love how the Doctor figured it out and how he tricked him. I found the whole dynamic very fun to watch, especially with Tom Baker's wittiness and intellect. That's the only reason why I remember the story. The whole planet thing and the underground rescuing thing was kind of pointless, especially with the Doctor's. The Doctor has his old friend that he meets back again in this cave, and I don't know if we're supposed to care or not. Also, I also want to point out K9 almost dies in a furnace, but he escapes. So, almost near-death experience for K9. The Black Warrior Guardian thingy is the only reason why I remember the story at all, because everything else is just pointless. And the fact that is this 4 parts or is this 6 parts? Because I can't remember very well. Because honestly, this is a pretty a pretty forgettable story. And how much does it have? It has 6 parts. I thought this had 4 parts. 6 parts. You know, they could have left that at 4 parts, because I feel like the few parts that were in there were quite unnecessary, and you know, the whole underground subplot didn't need to be there anyway. I didn't even know what the plan was called. I was just mostly focused on the Black Guardian plot to the end of the season. That was the thing I was waiting for the most. So I got it, but it came a little too late. They could have shortened it, the whole plot, a pretty 4 parts. 4 parts could have, you know, made it more consistent, a little shorter, and yeah, by these numbers, by UK viewers, a lot of people saw the finale of the Armageddon Factor instead of seeing the beginning, and for good reason too. The Black Guardian first appears in the last story, and we see how he's really like. And we don't see him until 1983 in the episode The Modern Undead with the 5th Doctor. So that's pretty cool. And this is the only time we get to see him in 70s Doctor Who until the 80s. And I find the Blood Guardian a very interesting villain. Not like the Master or any other villain that Doctor has crossed before. I find him like a wizard across space. That's what a dark wizard across space. That's kind of how I see him. And I think he's a really cool villain. Now hear me on this. I feel like he should come back one day, and the Key to Time thing shouldn't really come back, but I feel like there should be a throwback episode. Like, it would be cool if they had Jodie Whittaker with the Black Guardian in a new episode, which I find was really cool. That would be sick. So yeah, I'm ashamed that the Black Guardian hasn't come back since 1983. Although it was fun having him around because he was a pretty interesting and unique villain in classic Doctor Who. So I had fun having him around. But I feel like his appearance in Armageddon Factor was a bit brief. He was barely in it, even though he was mostly the main villain. But I feel like his appearance in this whole story was pretty brief. For tricking the Doctor, and then the Doctor tricking him, and they have the Key of Time, and then they get away, and the Black Guardian is never gonna get the Key of Time ever again. So what do they do with the cube? They destroy it. It seems like this whole season there was no point to this whole season at all. They collected it only to destroy it, which is fine, but really pointless. I can't believe it did that. Really, I think some people might have raged over this whole thing, since they just collected all the keys to the time to make it and then destroy it later on, because they found out that the White Guardians acted the Black Guardian in disguise. So they had to destroy it in order to none of them to get the power. Which makes sense, but we have seen stories where the Doctor defeats a monster by having too much power, like in the Planet of the Spiders, for example. But I guess it's a bit pointless. They shouldn't have really just destroyed the cube. They should have given it to someone wise. But then, you know, a villain would have actually gotten the cube later on, and then, you know, the whole... So I guess destroying it was a good idea. I just think it wasn't satisfying. It just wasn't a satisfying conclusion to this whole season. It made you waste your time. If you've never seen the seasons, it made you just waste your time the whole time. It just made you be like, why did it destroy it? They had no choice. Unless the writers could have come up with something more clever. Because the Black Guardian does come back, but there's no Cube of Time. So they could have actually saved the cube. The cube. It's a key or cube. They could have saved the cube, and they could have given someone responsible and someone like the Time Lords. They could have given it to them, and then someone attacked the Gallifrey, and it was the Black Guardian. And so when the Doctor is the 5th incarnation, and when the Black Guardian returns, he gets the cube from Gallifrey, and the Time Lords team up to defeat the Black Guardian. That could have been so cool. And that could have actually been an alternative 5 Doctors, instead of just throwing a bunch of Cybermen, Daleks, and Master in the 5 Doctors instead. But that would have actually made a good story. I think that was a good idea. I think my idea is pretty clever because I could have actually made the Five Doctors a bit more unique and wouldn't have just made like a generic multi-doctor story. Because who just wants to see Daleks and Cybermen and the Master just interact for a whole hour? Five Doctors is still cool. The Five Doctors is still a good episode. It's just better if you have something more unique. Like, that's why the Day Doctor is so popular, because it didn't really just throw in Cybermen and Daleks. Well, they had Daleks, but there was no Cybermen. There was no Master. It had a focused narrative. It focused on the Gallifreyan plot and how the Doctor showed Gallifrey and the Daleks. So I feel like, well, I really got enough point, but that just tells you how forgetful the Armageddon Factor episode is, because I just got off point. You can tell. So, in conclusion, the Armageddon Factor is forgetful, and that's it. For the most part, it is. So you have half the episode. You just forgot about it because it isn't about the Black Guardian, and then you have, and that's the episode for like 2 parts. And then we meet the Black Guardian, and also we meet the princess of. We meet a princess called Astra, Princess Astra, which is played by the actress who's gonna be the next Romana in the next season, which is a total surprise if you were watching Doctor Who back in the day. But Princess Astra, they meet her. She's like the princess, and she gets kidnapped a bunch. They also find that there's a spaceship hidden in the underground, so they use that. And then that little spaceship leads them to a power source, and that's where they find the last piece. And they find it there, and they connect it and go back to the TARDIS. So it's kind of a huge journey. If you really think about it, it reminds you of the first Doctor episode in On Earth for the Child, because you're like underground a bunch. It's a bunch of technology exposure. It really reminds you of a 60s Doctor Who, because there's a lot of underground episodes, especially Web of Fear. There's also princesses like the Crusade, and there's a lot of references to the past, which no one got, and I don't think I got it either. So yeah, if you want to know what happens at the end of the season, just watch it. Sure you can watch it. I'm just gonna make sure that you know that this story is not completely important, not completely. But for the last episodes, the last few parts, you should stick around. I think the Black Guardian is really cool, really interesting. So in conclusion, I give the story. Now, should it be worse than Power of Crawl? I want it to be. I'm just gonna give it 6 out of 10 as well. Because it's forgetful. Unlike Power of Crawl, which is also forgetful, but also, but the thing is that the episode is unnecessary. This one is necessary. It's just that half of it is unnecessary. So I have to give it a 6 out of 10. So I have the same rating. Unless you want me to tell you that it has a 6.5 out of 10, which sure I could do that. But I just want to give it a 6 out of 10 because it's more convenient. I don't want to put decimals into the ratings anymore. So let's just give it a 6 out of 10 for very forgetful chunk of the story, and then the other half just being a complete Black Guardian encounter. So, in conclusion, this is Whovian Maverick. This is the Armageddon Factor, and I'll see you guys later with random episodes that I'm reviewing. And I'm also going to be doing, I think, Planet of Evil pretty soon, so see you guys later. This is Whovian Maverick, and my birthday's coming up, so I'm seeing you guys later. This is Whovian Maverick, oh my gosh, and see you guys in the next video. Yeah, bye. Oh shoot, oh no, it's time. I need to find the last song, quick. Alright, I've forgotten the socks. We have 1, 2, 4, 5. Shoot.
Hello, Amelia. I expect you have all the 6 socks.
Oh no, what are you doing here? all the socks? Of course.
Really? I don't. If you don't have them, then I have to delete your channel.
No, don't. My channel is to stay alive. You know, I want to do more content.
Don't play games with me, Emilio. You know what happens if you don't have all 6 socks.
Look, let me show you. I have all 6. Look, see? 1, 2. No, don't destroy my channel. Oh, that worked. Oh wow, no sock? Wow, that's a pretty disappointing conclusion. According to the key of time, just saying. So no sock? So I don't get to play 6. So I guess I used all the socks to kill him. So technically he's gone now. So no one can delete my channel anymore. It's all up to me. Me. Well, it looks like I'm free to do whatever I want now. Well, what I mean is Doctor Who, but, you know, I don't have to listen to this guy's rules anymore. From now on, I'm allowed to make any Doctor Who content.